It is late. What's that? Okay. Figuring something out here. All messages. Okay. Yeah, it is late Sunday. It's about 11 o'clock here in California. Sorry I'm getting on so late. I wanted to get on earlier, but Father's Day, it was a good day. Also, my granddaughter Eliani's 13th birthday. So we went and partook in that. If you're rewatching this, I would suggest you just jump forward to 4 or 5 minutes in, and the chat should be jumping by then. I know it's a little later than I usually go live, but I wanted to go live tonight. I'm going to try to be on again tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes. What's up, little T? Andrew, how you doing? Nitro Bob, hope you are all doing well. It was a pretty good weekend. They called me in for a Saturday shift. What's up, Connor? How you doing? And I ended up coming home early, so got the extra day pay and made a few extra bucks. Didn't have to be there from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., which is brutal. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. So, yeah, it's Sunday night. Probably going to go do an Amazon Flex in the morning. Man, the hustle never stops. I mean, my 9 to 5 pays the bills, but I want a little more than that. Get enough subs so I can go live. How many subs you got, Connor? And what's the name of your channel? Throw it on out there in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out. What's your channel about? I don't think you need to have that many subs to go live now. Somebody said like with 50 subs you can go live. It used to be 500 when I started, but it's your new username. Okay. So you need 50. Okay. How many? What's your channel about, Connor? And we'll give you a little shout out. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button while you're in here, if you would. Yeah, it's kind of a long day today. Got some stuff to do tomorrow too. What's up, Brantley? How you doing? Make sure you guys go over to Connor Chapin. Check that channel out and give him a sub. He's trying to get to 50 so he can go live. So let's help him get there. What's up, TBH Ray? I'm doing well. Hope you're well also. What's up, Eva? Shout out to Indonesia. So, yeah, do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I just dropped a video earlier about Father's Day. What's up, Muhammad? And Holy Baiba. I hope you guys are well. I may be part of this thing called live. Yeah, I hear you, Nitro Bob. It gets tough sometimes, bro, but we got to keep fighting that good fight, Life's all right, TBH. I can't complain, bro. I mean, I could complain, but that ain't going to do nothing. Don't do the racist stuff in here or you're going to get booted, all right? I'm letting you know right now. Yeah, here. Thank God. Family's doing well, Ray. Hope the same for you. All right, this jackass just needs some negative attention, so let's just go ahead and give him a timeout. He can think about saying dumb shit, you know? Actually, I got one already, Connor. I appreciate you, though, bro. Actually, I got a few. I'm doing all right, Nitro Bob. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I got 3 or 4 people that are moderators. They're not always on here, you know what I mean? But what is up, Monk? How you doing, brother? Happy Father's Day to you as well. Hope you had a good one. What got you into going live on YouTube? To be honest with you, Ray, when I first started my channel, people said that doing the lives would draw more subscribers. So I hated going live at first because, you know, the thing about live is it's just that, it's live. You know, if you do a pre-recorded video and drop it on your channel, you can edit, you can stop, you can restart, you can do all that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, actually doing the lives has really helped as far as it's a lot bigger on the sobriety side than the war story side. You know what I mean? But for me, anyways. But that's a good thing, you know? Like, it's good. It helps me just as much as it helps others, you know? What's up, Ezekiel? You made it. It was late. I was hoping you'd make it. He says, hey, Dad, happy Father's Day from the son you wish was yours. But I got dropped off on your doorstep and asked for child support. What's going on, Ezekiel? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, and a very happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there that are doing the best they can to bring these kids up right. You know, I mean, it's not always a perfect endeavor, but as long as we're doing the best we can, then that's a good thing. I mean, my goal was always for my kids to be better than me, and you know, they're catching up quick. I'll just say that. You know, uh, nice. Monk says I'm in bed eating Pop Tarts like a Turkish prince. That's awesome, brother. Uh, James says coming by to show support. Hope you're doing well, brother. Yeah, honestly, at first with the lives, what's up, KK? How are you, bro? Glad you made it in tonight. Uh, I didn't necessarily want to be a YouTuber, to be honest with you, Ray. Like, I'm a very private individual when it comes to my life, but when I started this, I'll give you a quick synopsis of how it came to be what it is. When I started this, I had lost a bunch of weight, and you know, recovering addict and all that stuff. You know, obviously you're going to gain some weight when you get clean, typically, and you know, I never got rid of that weight, so I lost some weight. I went on sort of a health kick. I was eating good. I was working out all the time and doing all that stuff. So that's originally what the name was for, Broken Bobby's Transformation, because I had transformed my body to uh, something that was a lot better. And so I started with that, and then I got the idea to tell some war stories and talk about sobriety. And you know, and here we are now, you know. So sobriety has become my passion with this, to be honest. Uh, to be honest with you, though, like, it doesn't, talking about sobriety and recovery doesn't get the biggest views, you know. But my hope is that my message gets to those that need to hear it. You know, not that I'm some authority in sobriety and recovery or anything, but you know, I managed to get clean off the crystal, and you know, I'm coming up on 21 years of sobriety. So obviously I did something right. And I wish there were someone back then that, you know, I could have got some information from that would have helped to accelerate my progress. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the question. Uh, uh, no, I've never been in war, Ray. damn boss and everyone else never did that shit. I'm out. The update about my dad. So my dad was found guilty of 8 counts. Oh, minor might get out when he's 60. Damn. That's crazy, Ezekiel. Uh, hey, Monk says, hey, you are an expert on your sobriety. Very well said, sir. I appreciate that. And you're another one that's doing the damn thing, Monk. I've been seeing this stuff on TikTok lately about only 2% of people that are addicted to meth ever, manage to stay clean for life. And, that's a crazy statistic. Like some of them are getting like 2% tattoos and stuff. I don't think I'd go that far with it. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. Yeah, I'm letting it grow. So yeah, it's where it does grow. I don't know. I'm not gonna I don't think I'm gonna do like a ponytail or anything to that effect. But yeah, I'm letting it grow right now. But it is getting hot, so I don't know how long this is gonna last. But we'll give it a run, So you know what, 2D? I haven't. I am guilty. I have not listened to them. Hey, if you're a subscriber to my channel, could you put a link in a comment on the video that I just dropped? And I promise you I'll click on that link and I'll check it out. Or if not, my email is in most of my videos. You can click, you can send it to my email, and I promise you I will check it out. It's a deadbeat. My stepdad is an asshole, so I'm done celebrating Father's Day. Bobby, can you be my new stepdad? You're part of the family now, Ezekiel. You're part of the family, brother. So, fentanyl is the big bad boy now. Massive destructive force. I agree. And I think I need to do a little more research on the fentanyl and stuff, because unfortunately, when people ask questions about that, I really don't have answers for that. When I got clean, fentanyl wasn't really a thing out there yet. Seems we lost connection. My bad. I try to get in the gym 3 or 4 times a week at this point. More like 3 lately, but it's I've been working a lot of hours and I'm just worn out. Perfect, 2D. I appreciate that. I'll try to get on live tomorrow night and I'll let you know what I think. As long as there's a reminder there for me, then I'll definitely check it out. It's just by the time I'm done with the live, like I can't remember half the stuff that we even talked about. You know what I mean? Work itself is absolutely. And to be honest with you, what we've been doing at work is because we subcontract through a major big box company, and we work the yard for them. And what we do is they want numbers. They want each truck to move 6 trailers an hour and complete 78% of them in an on-time fashion. So, if we start with 6 drivers and there's not enough volume, we cut, and then we cut, and then we cut until there's enough volume to keep the number of drivers left busy. We manufacture volume, basically. And, because obviously the volume for me is higher if I have less drivers supporting me. So, yeah, it's always busy. And sometimes we cut too soon, and then we're short drivers, and then the volume of work is too much. So, yeah, it can definitely be a workout all in its own right, So, and as far as the pen and paper, Nitro Bob, not when I'm on live. I am one to take notes on stuff because my memory isn't as great as it used to be. But when I'm on live, I want to stay focused on on what we got going on here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why I don't take any notes on that stuff. What's up, Jag? Do me a favor, guys, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. God damn it. Some of this stuff fell over right now. I'll clean it up after the live. So.
Oh my God.
Nitro Bob says hit the like, y'all.
What the hell happened?
I don't know. It just fell over.
Yeah, maybe.
Looks like Connor's back.
God. We have a mini earthquake?
Maybe. Ezekiel says, Bobby, did you steal my dryer? We got the same one. Oh, you see that? You see the dryer? Man, I don't know what the hell it was. I know the dog's out here running around. Maybe the dog might have bumped into it and knocked it over.
How was the dog here? Really? You ran the dog?
You want to be on here?
Don't fuck around with
it. If you want to see what sexy Latina looks like, drop a 1 in the chat right now.
You trust me, you don't want to go there, Rick.
Ezekiel dropped a 1. Nitro Bob dropped a 1. Ezekiel just dropped like 100 ones.
Okay, so what you were saying, you want everybody to see what your wife looks like?
No.
That's what I thought.
You need to settle down, little girl.
You need to settle down.
Somebody said, wow, Anonym said Aryan Brotherhood and misspelled it. I'm really disappointed in you, bro. If you're going to try to label me something, at least spell it correctly, okay? I understood what you meant because people say that shit all the time, you know? Do you really think if I was Aryan Brotherhood, I'd be on a YouTube live? Probably not. I'd probably be in prison, but, you know. Yeah, it's not going to happen. She's a very private individual. She's not with the social media stuff, so. You look like sorry. You look like you need some Hooked on Phonics. You're from Germany? Shout out to Germany. All right. Yeah, you guys can stop counting now. It's not going to happen. But anyways, there's a pic of me on YouTube. Send me a link to your page, Connor, and I'll give you a sub after I'm done. Just go to one of my videos. Go to my latest video and drop a link in the comments, and I'll go check you out, bro. I'll give you a sub. Okay, sounds good. Ezekiel Connor has a YouTube channel. Make sure you go over and subscribe to him. He's trying to go live, so. Nitro Bob, to be honest with you, the icons, because I'm doing this on my phone, are really small, and my vision is that of a 50-something-year-old man, so I can't even see it. But I'm sure your picture is amazing, Nitro Bob. Too small in the aspect, it's small on my phone. Everybody's icon is small on my phone, though. I can't tell you what half of these people look like. So. And I appreciate that, Ezekiel, but at the same time, I do want to support other content creators. So let's make sure that we show some support, you know? Monk says, Drill Sergeant voice, Germany? Only 2 things come out of Germany. It's a skeleton facing backwards and flipping off the haters. Nice. Okay, cool. E has the big E. All right, question for the group. Has everybody hit the like button yet? Because if you haven't, what are you waiting for? And everybody subscribe. Let's run these numbers up. We're right at 2,900. Let's take it to 3,000. Spooky says, dude, why you banned me the other night? I don't know. Did I ban you the other night, Spooky? I don't ban anybody. If you were banned, you wouldn't be back in the chat right now. Now, people do get timeouts. Maybe you got a timeout if you said something that was out of pocket. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't remember that, to be honest with you. And I have moderators that handle most of that stuff. So, all right, cool. I appreciate it, Connor. Yeah, I'll check you out. So, effing many spooky accounts. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know about that, Spooky. Okay. Yeah, and it's a possibility maybe somebody was trying to time someone else out because, you at times the chat gets really active. So it's possible maybe somebody was trying to time somebody else out and you got friendly fire. If that's the case, I apologize for that. I want everybody to be a part of this. Um, and sorry, I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, no, I hear you, Spooky. Like I said, yeah, that may have been friendly fire if it was our bad on behalf of the moderators. I take full responsibility for their actions as well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm glad you popped back in, though. We definitely love positivity around here. So, the problem with that, Connor, is I have like 5 mods already. Most of them are family. And then we have Ezekiel. Well, Ezekiel's family now, too. He's part of the Broken Bobby family. But, I don't want it to get to the point where we have more moderators and people in here because, we're a smaller channel. I don't, if my numbers were larger, I would definitely consider making you a mod. But I appreciate you supporting the channel, definitely. And thank you for offering. Man, it sounds like Ezekiel's got some jokes tonight. He's Biggie Smalls, and Bobby is 2-packs. Damn, are we both deceased? Is this a heavenly live tonight or what? Are we coming to you from the other side? Oh my Lord! Am I gonna have to hit you up? I used to love Tupac. What's up, Bruce Lee? How you doing? I don't know, Cam. What do you think? Shall I make a political statement and say, can you tell the difference? Yeah, no, I got it. I got it. What's up, Alexa Rodriguez? So it was a crazy ass weekend as far as the news goes. We had these No Kings protests. We had some lawmakers in Minnesota get assassinated. We have a crazy ass military conflict going on in the Middle East, So, like, is this the real Bobby or a robot Bobby? Yeah, if you got banned for no reason, my bad. But like I said, sometimes the chat gets pretty heavy. I completely agree with you. A lot of laughs. Says the news can be poisonous to the mind. Social media can be too. And actually, you know what? I'll touch on that a little bit because the thing is, when you get on social media will make you think it's the end of the world. And with all the AI and stuff that's going on, nowadays, like half the time I see something on social media, I got to send it to my son. Hey, is this AI or is this real? And like, he's good at identifying that, you know what I mean? But, geez. Yeah, absolutely, Lotto, and I agree. And when I see things on social media, a lot of times I'll go to Google and see if I can confirm what I'm seeing. Because I mean, like you can type in World War III, and like there's 6 million videos on that, and how it's already started, and that's neither here nor there. I mean, that's debatable at this point. If you look at history, it very well may have already started, but um, social media will super hype up situations to where you're thinking, "Oh my God, this is crazy." Yeah, Bruce Lee. I'm in California. What about you? Yeah, positivity. I always try to keep a positive mindset though, because you know, being negative just going to bring you down. And I mean, there's things to be negative about in life. You know what I mean? But I always try to see the bright side and try to see my part in things. Okay, shout out to Arizona, Sacramento. Shout out to Sacramento. So, did you guys hear about the lockdowns in the California prison system again? They like to call it modified program, but they're lockdowns. Nitro Bob's in Modesto. Shout out to Modesto. Well, we're just gonna call him Nick. I got that right away as soon as I seen the name. Long as we're not making racist statements and stuff in the chat, you're all good. So, um, but yeah, social media. Social media will twist your mind. Like, have you thinking up is down and down is up if you go down the rabbit hole too far. So, uh, oh, okay. Lotto says I work at a homeless hotel out here in West Sacramento. Damn. Well, you're working. That's a good thing. It's probably a rough area, I would imagine. But yeah. So the level threes and level fours were put on lockdown late last week in the California prison system, right ahead of Father's Day and the visits. They took all the visits away. They took the canteen. They took the packages. Took everything from these guys. They're doing this group punishment because uh, the SNY, basically the PC yards, have been attacking cops, and the CDCR basically don't know what to do with it. So no, that's a good thing. A lot of laughs. I'm happy, man. Happy Father's Day to you as well, Bruce Lee, and all the other fathers that do the best they can to raise these kids right. It's not easy. It's a struggle sometimes, but my goal is always to uh, to raise my kids to where they turn out better than I do, and I think they're definitely on the way to being more successful than me. So I'm blessed with that. Definitely blessed with that. So, but yeah, I think the problem with CDCR is okay. So they got rid of the indeterminate shoe. If you don't know what that means, basically, it was solitary confinement with no way out. So, like, if you had a life sentence and they gave you an indeterminate shoe, that basically meant you were going to be in solitary for the rest of your life, unless you uh, disavow your gang and drop out and tell on everybody. So that'll be the end of the lives, Ezekiel. That'll be the end of the lives. My son will drop a message and let you guys know when that does happen. But man, that's a long time from now, bro. Broken Bobby ain't going out without a fight, my boy. So yeah, so they were doing these indeterminate shoes, right? And they did a hunger strike up in Pelican Bay, and it actually ended up going statewide to do this thing called the End of All Hostilities Agreement. to where all the major organizations in prison made a pact that there would be no violence amongst the groups if the alleged leaders could be returned out to the main lines and back into populations. Okay, so fast forward now, 10 years later, the way the system is running, as I understand it, a shout out to Sweden. um, the way it's running now is like if I were on a yard in California prison right now and I were to go stab somebody and unalive them, they're going to stick me in restricted housing, which is solitary confinement basically. And, in a couple of months, I can be back out on the main line to do it again. And they wonder why it's so violent. Now, I'm not by any means advocating for indeterminate shoe terms, but, if I'm out there on the main line and I stab somebody and they become unalive, you know, I need to go sit in timeout for a while. Give me a 2, 3, 4, 5 year shoe. That's awesome, Gray Ocean. You think I ain't got nothing? I hope you know how to aim, because I do. Anyways, I hope you're doing well, Gray Ocean. That's awesome. So yeah, that's the way they have it now. And so now in Salinas Valley State Prison, a group of inmates, a what's up, Quotes Daily, saying hi from Yokohama, Japan. Shout out to Yokohama, Japan, and to you, Quotes Daily. Hope you are well. Also sucked because on Thursday I got put to sleep and got all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed, and I couldn't eat any of the cookout food because my mouth is still messed up. My son just had his wisdom teeth pulled as well. Yeah, that's rough, Ezekiel. But so yeah, now they're doing another hunger strike. As far as I know, it's just at Salinas Valley State Prison right now on the level 4. Maybe on a few other yards. I don't know, but the Department of Corrections needs to come up with a plan to figure things out, because man, there's a lot of guards getting stabbed. There's a lot of inmates getting stabbed. A lot of it's going on the PC yards and the EOP yards, which is extended outpatient treatment yard. People on meds, basically mental health issues. So yeah, I mean it's rough. Palmdale's had a couple. I think Pelican Bay had one assault on an officer with a weapon. Um, and Mule Creek has been real active with that too. Yeah, he's already pretty well recovered from that, Ezekiel. But like I'd say for like a good week, yeah, that was a mess for him. You from Lance says you from Michigan, I'm assuming. No, I'm from California, Lance. But yeah, the Department of Corrections, they need to figure something out with what's going on there. And in my opinion, with them snatching the visits and everything, I don't know if that's exclusive to California, Bruce Lee, or not, but I'm sure it goes on in other states as well, but I don't really know too much about other states, to be honest with you. But yeah, so they took the visits and everything away from these guys. They even took the phone calls, everything, the mail, and right before Father's Day. Like, that's one of the biggest visiting days of the year in the Department of Corrections. Some people, that's the only visit they get all year is Father's Day. So, you have a bunch of level 3 and level 4 inmates who are basically, for lack of a better term, killers. And, a bunch of lifers who don't have a whole lot to lose, and you start messing with them like that. Damn. Hopefully that turns out all right on that, Bruce. What are what are you being charged with, brother? If you don't mind me asking. So yeah, they didn't probably piss these guys off. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure I would be pissed off if they pulled those visits right before Father's Day. They could have went past Father's Day and then pulled them. You know what I mean? I don't think it would have made much of a difference. But uh, how do I feel about the war? Says Ezekiel. Um, I think it's crazy, bro. I think it's unfortunately it's very political, and for that reason, I'm gonna kind of sidestep that. But I hope that they can get it. Hope they can get it resolved sooner than later, so that more people don't need to die. You know. Bruce Lee says 2 assault with deadly attempt. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, does he have a paid lawyer, or is he on public defender? Been on probation 3 years, but messed up a bit last month. Yeah. Sounds like a wild month, bro. Um, Hopefully, you got a decent lawyer that can work with you on that and maybe get that knocked down some. You know, a lot of times, to be honest, like speaking from California, I can't speak for Arizona. I've never been in trouble in Arizona. But in California, typically, when you're there, we're setting up for trial, when we're going through the process of that. Initially, like when you get to like you do the arraignment where you plead guilty, not guilty. Of course, you're going to plead not guilty because you want to see what kind of time they're throwing at you. And what they do is it's called the maximum exposure. So in California, like say I commit whatever crime it may be, right? So you maybe the minimum's 2, mid is 3, max is 5. So that 5 is the number they're going to throw at you. Well, you're looking at 5 years, but if you don't have much of a record, or a lot of circumstances, basically, you so they like my first time being in jail back in 92. It was assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a loaded firearm with serial numbers removed, possession of a stolen firearm, and a pursuit. And the first time I went to court, I'm 18 years old, and they say your maximum exposure is 12 years and 8 months or something. And I was like, damn, that is terrible. And then, depending on how strong the case is, a lot of times they'll come and offer you a plea bargain. And after going back to court a couple of times, they said, okay, how about a year in the county jail? And I said, how about we do that? Where do I sign? So hopefully something like that happens. It was grand. 2 guys tried to rob me in Vegas. I got stabbed twice in my arm, then got a hold of the knife and poked back. Chased him home. Oh, okay. Well, maybe you might have a self-defense case there, Bruce Lee. Comments, but earlier, Bobby, you said it's getting hot over there, so you might stop growing your hair. Be lucky you ain't over here in Ohio. This week it's supposed to hit 100 all week. Ooh. Yeah. And the thing is, Bruce, like here in Cali, especially if you're in custody for the hearings, oh man, they make it rough for you, bro. Like they wake you up, you're in the county jail, they wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning to transport you over to the courthouse. Then you sit there all day, come back at 6. Now you done miss breakfast and dinner, and you get a sack lunch or something. It's like the system is designed to break us. So, oh, I see. Okay. I mean, it just seems like you should be able to get a better deal than that. I mean, if they came after you, is there any gang enhancements on that, Bruce? Because in California, that's like one of the big ones. Oh, okay. Yeah, in California, that's one of the big ones. You get into an altercation with somebody, and there's underlying gang ties involved with it. Then they hit you with the assault with a deadly weapon, possession of the firearm, and the gang enhancement's like 10 years on top of it. So that's how a lot of the homies ended up with like 85-year sentences, 85 to life, because gang enhancements, uh, or not drug enhancements, gun enhancements. Like they'll give you 10 years for the pistol, and then they'll give you 10 years for being a part of the gang. And then it's like a third strike type situation. So that's another 25 to life. And, it's not hard to end up with 55, 75, 105 to life. Like for a while there, like they were just washing people up left and right. And it was unfortunate. I was trying to buy a phone charger in a gas station in Vegas. I had no weapons on me. I was on vacation. I had to leave my bag outside the store. They grabbed it, and I see. Okay. That's crazy, bro. Total total victim of the circumstances, it sounds like. You think that they would, offer you a sweet deal if they're just trying to get the conviction. I mean, from the way you're describing it, it doesn't sound like you were out there looking for trouble or anything, but I mean, if a dude stabs you, what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to stand there and bleed, or what? Like, that don't make any damn sense at all to me. It seems that way, huh? Says there's 19 in here right now. Then poked back, then chased him down because I didn't know what they took from my bag. And I did get a sweet deal. Oh, I see. Oh, that was your initial case, right? And that's in Nevada? Thoughts on the youth these days? I would say I've become one of the elders in my family now. And the elders used to say the same things about us that I feel about a lot of the younger folks today. Like, I don't see the work ethic in a lot of people. I don't see accountability in a lot of people. Everything is everybody else's fault and not their own. Like, I'm really big on accountability. And I don't see that, like, with some of the workers that they're bringing in nowadays that are like in their 20s. Like, these people haven't figured it out yet, I guess. I mean, that's not to put everybody in the same basket, because there are definitely some people that do have it all figured out at a young age. But there's hope. There's definitely hope for the future, though, with the next generation, I would say. Taj Veer says, hello from Vancouver, Canada. Shout out to Vancouver, Canada. Hope you're doing well. Consciousness is a big thing. Yeah, I agree. Completely. So Bruce says, it happened in Nevada, but my probation is being carried in Arizona. Okay. Arizona's a tough on crime state too, right? Like, they don't fuck around out there with stuff, from what I hear. I had a homeboy back like in the early 2000s that got caught with like two $10 sacks of weed, and they gave him 2 years. And it was like, in California, they wouldn't have did shit to him. You know what I mean? Hadaway, I'm in Southern California. My friends and family, I was so close to getting off probation too. Not sure what's gonna happen now. Hope, I would say best case scenario, they continue you on probation, bro. And I hope that's what happens because it sounds like you got the raw deal there. Okay, TJ. Sounds good, TJ. I was happy to spend today with my son. I have him full time and he's autistic and his mom isn't around. Well, it sounds like you're a wonderful father, Bruce. And I hope that they're able to work out that situation with your legal matters. Yeah, I know they hold the trained fighters definitely to a higher accountability, right? Man, TJ says, love you, Bruce. You're in my prayers. You're in my prayers as well, Bruce. You'll definitely have to keep us updated on what's going on with with your case, bro. When do you go back to court again? Hadaway says Dublin, Ireland. Shout out to Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, I mean it's one thing if you're out there like I'll be honest, like I was continued on probation several times in several counties, and I didn't care. I was waiting to go to prison because I was an addict and I was sick with it. But for people that are out there doing the right thing, and circumstances just happen to land that way, that really sucks, bro. So I hope they can get it figured out for you, brother. Yeah. Have you tried going to like an AA meeting or something, Bruce? When you're trying to get clean, I would say all the support you could get is you can't have too much. You know what I mean? I'm struggling on my end, and I know a few friends that are in the same boat. TJ, that's a great question. I appreciate it. Can I ask you how you got help with addiction? What worked for you? Initially, the way I was introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous was I was on probation in San Bernardino County for a drug charge, and they put me on the Prop 36, which basically is drug court. Like if you finish the program, they get rid of the felony and your record's clean. Uh, Now, I'd go to the meetings and get the court card signed. The court card is just basically a piece of paper with a bunch of lines on them, 1 through 30 or 60 or whatever it is, and you take it and you present it to the secretary. And as long as you're there for the whole meeting, you get credit and they sign your court card for you. And then you present that to the court and but I would go to the meetings, but like I was so devious at that point in my life. Like I found a meeting where the secretary was still using and I was a drug dealer. So, hey bro, what's up? You know what I mean? I'll shoot you half a gram if you just sign up my court card here so it looks good for the judge type of thing. Like it took me a while. I had to bump my head a few times to be honest before I finally figured some things out. But Sexy Latina says like and subscribe. I appreciate that, babe. Yeah, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if you would. I would greatly appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm. But yeah, that was my initial, getting in with AA and NA. And, at first I thought it was stupid. I thought, why do I want to go hang around with a bunch of other addicts and mope about how I can't use no more? Because I wasn't ready, like you got to be ready. But then I went back. They sent me to in-house treatment next, 90-day in-house program, and I wasn't ready for that either. You know what I mean? Like it took me a while. I did 3 in-house programs before I finally got it right, and the biggest difference between the first one and the third one was when I did the third one, I was ready. When I did the first one, I wasn't, and I was faking it until I make it, basically, and eventually, I guess I made it. So thank God for that, because yeah, I was a mess. But yeah, that's a good question. I appreciate that. Bruce says, I was sober for a long time. I did all them classes during my probation. I just had a bad night and drank stupidly. Yeah, I hear you, brother. TJ says it's tough. I've been on and off alcohol for the last about 3 years. Wish you the best, Bruce. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you know what I think is one of the biggest things I learned was when you're getting clean and when you're participating in the program, you have to pay attention to the small details. You have to do the small things right. Because if you start cutting corners on the small things, then when it comes to the bigger things like a relapse or something, it's not going to matter, you know? Like I had to start with the most minute details, and you know, it just took off from there. So what's up with the ... Ezekiel? Are you following the conversation? Is that what that means? Yeah, you know, and the thing is, like you said about being on and off alcohol for the last 3 years, you know, that's how it was for me. Like the first time I went to an NA meeting was probably 2001, and when I finally figured it out, so to say, was late 2004. So for a long time, like I was doing those just to pacify the court system, you know? And along the way, I heard some things. And that's why I always say, go to a meeting and just listen, you know? Just go listen. Because I picked up a little tidbit here, and I picked up a little tidbit over there, and I picked up a little tidbit over here, and eventually I put those all together, and I said, wow, you know what? I can do this shit, you know? Like, amazing. So, and to be honest, I have some trust problems. I don't feel okay or comfortable there. And I understand that, TJ. And believe me, I don't think anybody, like, I had major trust issues coming out of my addiction. I got it tatted on my chest. I trust no one, you know, because, you know, my life was filled with a bunch of people that were conniving and trying to figure out a way to come up on a sack, basically, and they would manipulate and do whatever they needed to do, basically, to get high. And you know, I'm not saying that I was any better than that. I was the same way, just on a bigger level, I guess you would say. And so coming from that lifestyle to a lifestyle where most of the people are genuine, I'll say, you know, it's tough. TJ says it's great for me to observe, but when I get put on the spot to speak or share, was when I didn't feel okay with it. And I agree with that, TJ. And you know what? That's why I just did a video recently on the 5 most important things in sobriety, I think it's called. And I touched base on that very topic, not necessarily particularly about being put on the spot to speak, but what I suggest is I think one of the topics of those 5 things I suggest is you do your 30 meetings in 30 days, and you're getting a feel. Like, you're not going to the same meeting every day. You're going to different meetings, and you're looking for a sponsor, right? But you don't want to jump the gun on that. That's why you spend those 30 days going to 30, not necessarily different meetings. If you find a meeting you like and it's once a week, go back next week. But also find other meetings that you can go to and figure out which meeting you're comfortable at. And if people are trying to put you on the spot or asking you to do things that you're not comfortable with yet, then that's not the one for you. Find a better one. You know what I mean? And eventually and that goes for the sponsor as well. Just because somebody's sponsoring you, they're not God. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to the advice they're giving you, but it's okay to talk to other people and say, hey, my sponsor's telling me to do this. Do you think this is a good idea? And you can fire your sponsor, you know what I mean? Bruce says, okay, brother, thank you for sharing and for the support. Also, Bobby, you're such a real one. I've been on and off your lives for probably a year. I appreciate that, Bruce. And I appreciate you tapping in tonight, brother. And I hope to see you back soon if you're heading out now. But yeah, I'll keep you in my prayers, bro. Hopefully, you can get a deal that works for you out of that, But as far as the meetings go and the sponsors and all that stuff, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I think it's called 5 Tips for Someone Early in Sobriety or something. Five somethings. I don't remember verbatim what that the title of that one is, but it was like maybe 2 or 3 videos ago. So check that out. I think there's some good advice, some good tidbits in there that can help you to get the ball rolling with sobriety. Because, you know, we as humans, we don't like change. So going all of a sudden, like my daily MO was, I had people that sold for me. So I'd go stop by the house and everything was out of town. Stop by a house, there might be 3 or 4 people in that house and we'd get high. And I would pick up money that was owed to me. I'd drop off some more product. Then I was Uber Tweaks. Everything was delivered. Nobody came to my house. Like I felt like I had a pretty good little program going on there, right? So that was what I was used to. I would go stop by a house, and there's people in there, and we're getting high. And now all of a sudden I'm in an NA meeting where allegedly nobody's getting high. Like I said, different meetings are going to bring you different things. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure you find a meeting where you feel like they're getting some stuff done. Um, and and that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. So check out that video if you haven't. How have you dealt with shame personally? I feel ashamed just to even ask for help. If you don't want to talk about it, it's all good. Don't want to push any boundaries. Not at all, TJ. So some of the biggest things that I was ashamed of, and honestly, personally, to this day, I still don't like to ask anybody for help. But like I dealt with a lot of shame, and unfortunately, I lost some people that were very important in my life over the course of my addiction. And one of my motivators now is that, they're in heaven watching. So I want to make sure that I'm that guy that they're up there in heaven looking down saying, that's my grandson, or that's my son, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure my actions are worthy of them watching, if that makes sense, I don't know. That's just one of my little kinks, I guess you will, as far as how I live my life. Like when I come across a situation that could be questionable, I ask myself, how would I feel about doing that to my family? You know what I mean? If it's not something that I would find acceptable, then I just try to stay away from it. But yeah, unfortunately, like I did some very shameful things in my addiction, and now I'm doing the best I can to make up for those bad deeds along the way. You know what I mean? So I hope that answered your question, TJ. And I appreciate the question. Absolutely, Bruce. We appreciate you, brother. Dr. Disaster, what's up, brother? Says, ain't nothing changed but the weather. There's a level of humility that comes with asking for help. It's the best thing ever when you find it. That's a great answer, brother. Yeah, and I appreciate that, TJ. I have some sort of duality. I know what's right is right, but I also know what's wrong is wrong, and sometimes I guess it's my ego. I lean to the... Yeah, I was that way for decades, bro. I was that way for decades, TJ. Like, honestly, from like my mid-teens all the way to my early 30s, if there was a question of which way's the right way and which way's not the right way to do it, I would go to the way that wasn't. I wanted to be that outsider, that like one percenter type of mindset. Even though I wasn't any of that, I'm not suggesting I was any of that, but uh, you know, screw the authority, screw all that stuff. Uh, I'm gonna do things the way I want to do things, and if you don't like it, come at me, bro. You know what I mean? But and then as I started to get a little bit older, I started to get into my 30s. Uh, been struggling with alcohol since 2022. Okay, yeah, and I hear you, TJ. Yeah. So and sometimes it takes a little while to get it together, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but that's all right. As long as you're working towards something that's going to better you, then I think that's a good thing. Your youngness and that, but to me, it comes down to like the trusting. Yeah, I agree. What's up, Tim? It's going good, brother. Hope you're doing well, also. Yeah, no, I mean, when I was young, I could say, oh, I was misguided, like I didn't have good role models, oh, poor me. And it took me a long time to figure this one out, accountability. Like when I finally was able to take accountability for my actions, I started making better decisions, you know what I mean? And unfortunately now with the news media and social media and everything else, it's real easy to, I'm not saying you're a victim or portray a victim role, but it's real easy for people nowadays to say, oh, well, it's not my fault because this, that, and the other. Like, I think whatever it is that we're striving to achieve, we can achieve. And, whether, but the thing is, sometimes we need a little bit of help, and that's okay, but what you want to do is you want to get to the point where you can pass that help on to the next guy and you can pay it forward. I mean, we're a lot more impressionable when we're young, though, for sure. TJ says, oh God, screw the media, lol, it's a disease in itself, in my opinion. I completely agree. I think Denzel Washington said, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed, and if you watch news, you're misinformed. And I think he's absolutely correct. They report on what they want to report on, and they put the spin on it they want to put on it. And it's the same with social media. Social media is the same way. Like, you could lose your mind watching that shit sometimes, especially when you get into the political realms and stuff like that. You know what? I'm going to have to set the phone down for just a quick second, guys, because I need to go use the restroom. I'll be right back, though. Phone's on the counter on left.
What, baby?
Phone's on the counter on left.
Okay. It's a phone turn, that's when you're done. That looks so tasty. Did you really put your face in? Does that nobody know what you look like?
I'm gonna talk to them.
What, Molly?
I'm gonna talk to them. Hi, Dad's live.
Bro, you almost got me in the damn life, man.
You're not in it.
I don't do live, buddy. Nobody is supposed to know what I look like.
Hi, Dad's live.
Not on my husband's live do I go on his
This is
YouTube live.
Mona. This is the oldest,
That's
prettiest
his life.
daughter.
It's about him, not about me or knowing what his wife looks like.
All right, I'm back. Apparently, you guys had a special guest there. The super moderator, Ramona. Let's see here. Also getting sober in the process. Hit me up. Absolutely, yeah. Let's use this platform to create networks, of people that are like-minded trying to do the same thing. That's my objective with this, Usually we have Mustang Mike in here and a few others that have some sobriety, so that's a good thing. Yeah, definitely. That was my daughter, yes. And she's also a moderator, Ramona. That was Ramona. So shout out to her. And shout out to Ezekiel, the other moderator that's on tonight. I don't think Cora or Q are on here, but shout out to them as well. And my son Jacob's a moderator. Shout out to him too. So we were talking about the media. Oh, the media, the government, like it's, I think it's all tied together. I think the media's propaganda wing of the government. Whether you watch Fox or CNN or MSNBC or whatever it is you watch, uh, like everybody puts a spin on things, and I do the best I can to decipher the information that they give me and make a decision for myself, I mean, I'm a registered independent, and yeah, absolutely. So I don't lean either way. When elections roll around, I look at the candidates and I say, whose values line up best with mine? And I don't know if it's necessarily their values. It's their values that they put out there, though. you know? Uh, Are we starting a mod war? Are the mods going to start timing each other out for talking shit or what? All right, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to get to 3,000 subs by the end of the month. We're at right around 2,900 right now. So do your boy a favor and hit that subscribe button if you would. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, hit that like. And if you're in here and you're quiet, speak up. I want to hear from you. So that's kind of where we're at. How much money have you wasted on dumbs? Real question, how much money have you wasted on dumbs? What's dumbs? I don't understand what you mean. Are you talking about drugs? Bruce Lee says drop a like, everyone. I appreciate that, Bruce. Yeah, drop a like, subscribe, and jump in the comments on dumb shit. Well, I'll give you this one. Imminence of oots. How much money have you dropped on dumb shit? I would say between 1989 and 2004, just on drugs, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2 million. And I'm not a wealthy person. I'm not a wealthy person, but I was a very good hustler. And, I did a lot of dope in my day, you know what I mean? And unfortunately now I'm suffering some of the health effects of that. But, I'm fighting the best fight I can, It seems that way. I remember I was in rehab one time in one of those 90-day programs, and for some reason they asked us this question. They said, how much dope do you think you've done in your lifetime? So I started doing the math in my head, and my answer was 10 pounds. And the counselor kind of chuckled at me like, there ain't no way. And I'm like, bro, we're talking about over 15 years. Think of it this way. A steady 8-ball to quarter ounce habit a day. So every 8, let's just base it on the quarter ounce factor. Every 4 days, that's an ounce. Every 16 days, that's a pound. You know what I mean? Like it adds up quick. So, or maybe I told him 50 pounds. I don't exactly recall, but yeah, like he was dumbfounded by that. Oops, my bad. And, when I started breaking it down to him, and he's like, damn, that's crazy, But so it's, if you don't mind me asking, what health problems do you got now? Uh, High blood pressure, high cholesterol, uh, early stages of COPD, and some concerns with the prostate. So yeah, there's a bit of a list there, but I'm still doing my thing. Like I still work 50 hours a week at work. I still do Amazon Flex on the weekend. Um, yeah, I have some issues, but I'm not going to make excuses and say, "Oh no, I need to go sit down." Like I'm gonna work my ass off as long as I can, because I'll tell you what, when I was in my addiction, I hustled harder than anybody, and just because I got clean, that didn't change. I still hustle harder than anybody. And the thing is, you know what? You can keep paper in your pocket. You just got to go out there and get it the right way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I work on that, and I get on the diet, and then I get off the diet, and I don't know. I'm a very streaky type of individual. I get really hot on things, and I go super hard at them, and then like the diet as an example. Like I was meal prepping for a couple of years, and slowly but surely I'd say, "Oh, you know what? A honey bun will be good," or something like that. And not on the cheat day, but Steven, the addiction was methamphetamine. Been clean since '04. But yeah, that's just the individual I am. Like I get hot on the gym. I'm in there 6, 7 nights a week, and then now I've cooled off in 3, 4 days. You know what I mean? But uh, appreciate that, Steven. All right, guys, I think we're going to go into wrap up mode here shortly. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you're new here, subscribe. Alexa says, I've been sober since January. Shout out to you and congratulations on that. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Yeah, we're going to go into the wrap up. Chances are I'll be back on again tomorrow night. I will do my best to do that. God willing, you know what I mean? No, I don't. I haven't figured out the Discord thing. What I do have available though is my email is in the description of the majority of my videos on YouTube. So if you want to communicate, you can definitely send me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But that's my only other way of communication besides, when I do these lives or when I do a video and for the comments, So, but yeah, you can definitely hit me up on the email and I'll get back to you. What's up, Terrence P? Yo! What's up, Terrence P? Bless you as well, sir. Good night, Broken Bobby, and I'll be up here in your live tomorrow. I appreciate that. Good night to you as well. Bless you, Terrence, as well. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. Let's keep these. Let's push these subscription numbers. We're gonna hit 3,000 this month. That is the goal. Wish you the best as well, Terrence. Looks like Ezekiel is pushing me to end it. Well, it's what is it like? Hey, you have a great night as well, TJ. I appreciate your participation tonight, bro. And I wish you the best in your journey. Just remember, guys, it's all about the company that you keep. You know, it's all about the company that you keep. You know, like if you hang around a bunch of people that play baseball, chances are you're a baseball player. If you hang around a bunch of people that steal Kias, then chances are you're a car thief. You know, if you hang around a bunch of people that are junkies, you do the math. You know what I mean? And if you hang around NA and AA meetings, chances are you're somebody that's in sobriety, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? So appreciate you, KK. You have a good night as well. So family, fitness, and freedom are the things that was the program that allowed me to get my life together, and it can help you as well. If you're new here, subscribe. Hey, and your input means a lot as well, TJ, and I thank you for your participation tonight. Yeah, like I said, if you're new, subscribe. And if you're not new, I appreciate you that have subscribed. Family, fitness, and freedom, you know, that was my program. It worked for me. It could work for you. Your program don't have to be what my program was, though. Whatever works to make it happen, you know? So I guess I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out and subscribe on the way out if you haven't already. And don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing. Have a great night, guys. I'll probably see you back tomorrow night.